with each of these things. So it all gets you voted.
Okay, all right, that would be great. And then we can surmise it so that our next meeting is on August 8th. So if we get the information, and then I can just pull that together and we can go from there. But at least we have some. So Frank, do you have any other thoughts?
I think under general heading of housing, I really see that as all one issue. They're all intertwined.
Right.
It's not four separate items.
Mm-hmm.
And I also have to agree with the education. And my own personal one is, which we don't talk about, is our infrastructure. We're heading down a really rough path here. Our streets, our sewer, our water system. You know, it's almost 100 years old. And
So
it's
if you'll talk about that at the city meeting.
Right,
So
right.
putting on your township hat, what's your third one for the township?
Township, I think that I have to agree with the lack of community involvement, parental involvement. Again, it's not a bunch of separate bulleted items. It's really one. Fixing one of these is not going to solve anything. It needs to be collectively.
Right.
Get more involvement with the parents at the schools. So that, and also getting the kids off the streets, out of the streets.
If I could back up for just a second, one of the things that we wanted to try and do with this group is let's us concentrate on what the issues are with the township, and then we'll also concentrate on what the issues are with the city. And I guess what we're trying to avoid is the city and the park district going, it's the schools, and the schools going, it's the city. It's everybody pointing fingers. What we're trying to do is really have each group identify their most important, and then we'll throw them all together when we get a little bit down the road. So I guess I would ask if there's another issue that you might have, Lloyd, that we could throw in other than schools, because I don't want to go to our next meeting and have the township be saying the schools are the problem. I don't think we want to do that yet.
We have a nice list of things here that contribute to the problem, like a communication and so forth, potential involvement. You can't change a community unless the people are changed. You can't legislate goodness. Yeah,
Right.
They have to want to do good.
Exactly.
And the people of the community are responsible for their own children. We can't be responsible for those children.
Exactly.
But we have to encourage the people in the community that have children to take the bull by the horns and start knowing what's going on as far as their young people is concerned. That's a big problem. Getting that message out to them, that's not hard to get it out to them. But getting them to comply, that's the problem. That's one of the problems that I see.
So do you guys feel like we have enough information for me to put together an email, and I'll shoot it out and get some additional feedback, and we can, what do you think, David? Is that okay?
Yeah, no, that'd be fine. As I was going to mention, just to follow up on your comment, the end goal is not just to get all the taxing bodies together and on the same page, but then that last step is saying, okay, now that we're one joint unified community, the next piece is the public participation in that as well. So you're absolutely right that there needs to be, in this letter, it's saying, what as a homeowner can we do? Well, our residents are a big asset, that we also need to include them in on that discussion, but we want to set that priority with the individual taxing bodies, get our ducks in a row, so to speak, and then say, here's the resources we have, here's the tools we have, here's the ideas we have. How can you help us implement that? How can we help you, vice versa, because again, it's not one taxing body, one resident, one anything that's going to make this difference. It's the whole community. So you're absolutely right that there's a responsibility on the resident side as well in this process, but there's stages I think that we have to get to at this point.
And Sherry, what I've heard here is that communication is definitely an issue. I think that should be included. And I think a couple people have mentioned housing stock. That should be included. And I guess this 2-ton elephant that's sitting in the room that nobody's talked about, and it's what I was talking about at first when I said more services and less revenue, is taxes. Everybody's having an issue with taxes. And I think that's going to have to be addressed across the board with all the governmental units. And so I would throw that one out there too as a third, perhaps.
Well, and it actually plays into like economic development and all the issues that keep economic development from happening. It's a bigger issue than just lowering taxes, you know, how do
No,
you
no,
know?
I
Yeah,
understand
yeah.
that.
So,
But
yeah.
I'm just saying, right now, our taxes are, people are feeling the pain on how high taxes are, and so we need to do things that lower them. And there's a lot of things that can lower them.
All right, thank you very much. I will shoot an email to continue this conversation and finalize what we'd like to present. Next item on the agenda is assessor's report. Lisa?
Yes. Larry asked me to fill you in on a few things tonight. We turned our books into the county last week. So we're anticipating a publication date, middle August. That will start our 30-day appeal period. Right around that time that we're published, we don't have a date yet, but once we have a date, we will set up an open house for homeowners to assist them, show them, walk them through the online filing that's now available this year for all county residents. It started last year after our books were turned in. We attended training on that this morning, so we'll be prepared to help some of the homeowners out with that. And the only other thing we have to report on is the senior freeze deadline is passed. So if anyone knows any seniors that haven't filled out their freeze form yet, please come in, bring your income information in. We'll still get it in for you. It's not too late, but the deadline is passed, so it needs to be coming pretty darn soon.
Okay, that's it. Any questions for Lisa? The supervisor's report is attached, and to save time, I will post it online. If anybody would like a copy of it, they can pick it up at the township office or see it online. Last item on the agenda is citizens' comments. Are there any citizens' comments?
How y'all doing, Madam Supervisor? I'm Clyde McLemore, trustee Al. You asked me to bring you some information, and I gave you a copy, and I got two more copies here. I'd like to present it to
Thank you.
got it. And this is the general assistance copy for people that's, I gave you one already, Al, and what it basically stating, Madam Supervisor, what we've been doing is we've been arguing over the same thing. You've been wrong, I've been wrong. It wasn't no right in it. And what I'm talking about is, and I know you know because you sent me everybody and I've been everywhere, the law, the 1996 law do still stand. But where we got confused at and what's going on, and I was asking some of the clients to come in, the X law still stands. But what's going on, in order for a person to get an X, arrest on an X, we talking about major dope dealer. And we don't have none of them that's coming in here trying to get no $250 a month or looking for a job. That ain't what the argument is. What's been going on, because I did a background check on myself. I don't have an X. And what's going on is that Supervisor Neal, what's going on in your office is that when a person have a background, period, dealing with drugs, they've been denied general assistance. And through the general assistance, because other townships wouldn't write me no letter, Al. That was a hard one to get other supervisors to write me a letter. So what I did is I got the general assistance handbook. And what other townships are doing, they are helping people become productive citizens by giving them general assistance to get on their feet. This is a big matter, because I was just listening to y'all talking about the three biggest things that's going on in Zion. Lack of community relationships, is one. Lack of people not trusting the leaders. Leaders can get all together all day long, but if they fall in poverty, they don't want to come in there and everything like that. And I heard you say, Mr. Detaining, that you can't change a community unless the community want to change. Zion is changing. Look around. It's 30% Afro-Americans, 24% Latinos in Zion. That's a whole lot different than it was 5 years ago. If you look at the matter 5 years ago and look at it, Zion has changed. Not saying that it's changing for the worse, not saying it's changing for the good, but we're looking like a ghost town. And what needs to be done is if we could get our citizens to help to come out of poverty in the township office in different ways. So, Madam Secretary, Madam Supervisor, I want to say me and you both was wrong after doing my thorough investigation, but this should be some heading on what I'm talking about. And if you, which I knew you gonna say, Madam Supervisor, that you gonna say, well, we wasn't just targeting and telling them that. Well, if that's the case, what I would do is I would bring clients here with a letter, and they can do a background check on themselves and see that they don't have an X, but they're still being denied. Are they being denied for other felonies? I don't know. You know, I don't know what your screening process is, because you do have a right as a supervisor to screen clients as they come in your office. But if we get a little bit more awareness, working together, you ain't got to have me up here every week trying to get this one little thing that I've been talking about, general assistance for ex-convicts, and trying to make them be productive. But we don't have to keep making them the rotation to go back and forth inside the jailhouse. That's all I got. And I ask you gentlemen, please look it over. I see, I gave Jim one, Frank, you can get one, but 3 officers do have one. Can you get them to run through off a copy? And I ask y'all just look at it yourself. You know what I'm saying? That's all I got.
Sure. Okay, is there anything else to come before the town board? Hearing none. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Trustee Taylor? Trustee Deteen?
Aye.
Trustee Flamini?
Aye.
Trustee Hill?
Aye.
Chairman Neal?
Meeting adjourned.
I'm very sending out.
You did good, kid. I didn't see you couldn't do that. I know you did. I was going to clear my throat really loud.